All right, so while people filter in, let me check the sound here. That worked. Now, time for this. That works as well. Let's go with that. Yeah. Should I stand? I should probably stand. Oh, geez. I'm going to close this door. He's gonna be doing that all day. Hold on. Let's raise this up and... All right, 1 second. Finally, the little heat wave we had broke, so I can open the window. All right, so again, first apologize for the new and crazy time, but I just had a whole bunch of meetings Friday, and I'm off all next week, so I use the time Friday to edit. There's 4 videos that are going to come out on the channel next week that are snippets from the Stats Edge Trading Pro live stream or Q&A. We have a Q&A once a month. And again, if you're interested, you can just go to my website here, which is always in the description below of all my videos and all of that. So I edited some stuff out from some live streams that I did for different people recently. So you guys on the channel and on Twitter are going to get kind of content regardless. Just wanted to make sure that. So I'm going to stream today instead of my normal time, which is just on Fridays. So welcome everyone. I've got the chat open. You guys can see my screen. You guys can see me. You can hear me. That is all good. So again, if anyone is new here and you're wondering what is this, and this is the first video you've seen or you're stumbling upon, once a week I like to go live and kind of go through my process, a bit of what I like to do and look for in my trading. This is kind of turning into a preview of what the Stats Edge Pro people get every single night, right? So every night for Stats Edge Pro, how's it going? You basically get a PDF or a blog post that has all of my technical analysis for stocks, equities, crypto, FX. I'm starting to trade now. Technical analysis done for all of those. On top of that, you get a watch list of stocks I'm interested in. You get this monthly Q&A that, again, you guys are going to see snippets of on the channel this week. And you get access to our little Discord room. Again, none of it's signal service. There'll be no picks. There's none of that. I don't really believe in that for most traders. You should be learning to do your own thing. So that's kind of what I'm going for, is you can see the way I analyze the market, and the hope is that that helps you analyze the market as well. So on this particular stream, we're going to go through all of the short videos that I did last week, talking about what I traded and how and why and all of that. We're going to talk about, go over the market, technical analysis of crypto, equity, Forex, all those markets, what I think of the different things that I'm going to be watching into next week. Then we're going to go through and we're going to scan what I'm going to build a short video about after this, and then I'm going to go and compile all that data for the Stats Edge Pro people, and they just get a nice PDF with me marking up all the charts and all of that, so they know what I'm after. And during that time, if any of you guys are at all interested in when I'm doing my scanning, if you guys want me to take a look at things that you're interested in, stocks or commodities or FX or whatever, I can show you, do a little technical analysis on that as well. Not investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some guy that you're watching on the internet for entertainment purposes only, and all of that. So now that that's out of the way, let's get right into it. It's a pretty nice Friday out, so I want to make sure I get to go and do other things. So again, if you're new to this channel, basically I do generally these short videos talking about stuff that I'm watching throughout the week. They're kind of losing traction a bit, so maybe changing that, but who knows. And then we'll talk about if I traded those and when and which ones I traded and all the things like that. So let's open up a calendar here. And the first one this week would have been the 23rd. So that's the one that I would have traded on the 21st, which was Bolt. So let's go through this first while people go in, and then we'll go into the kind of main nuts and potatoes. So Bolt, I am sad to say that I missed, but man, this was a good looker. Basically, I was looking for it to break over here. It broke right in the morning and ran. I didn't get a fill. I'm doing most of my swing trading in the last hour of the day now, so I missed that one, but I hope someone else got it because I was looking at it around 14, and it's kind of run with no pullback now up until like 17 and a half, so that would have been a great one. Missed that one. And then there was Ride. Ride just, I believe, yeah, Ride was in through here. I took a small bit in a smaller account that I have because this one's so incredibly risky. And we had a little gap up and it's been holding. I'm still in. This is more of a longer term account where I do some longer term trades. I don't even really consider swing trading because they're longer than that, you know, talk weeks or months. Basically, I was looking at this one because of GoEV had this crazy pop off of the low. So I was thinking that maybe Ride was going to do the same thing, and it did have a pop. I just want to like look at these with some of the sectors, and this is something I'll do often and say kind of what are the competitors looking like. RMO is bouncing a bit. Neo is China, so I don't know if I'm interested in that. That's bouncing a bit, and then we look at the granddaddy of them all is Tesla, because there's been this big rotation out of EVs. So I'm wondering if now there's going to be a little bottom fish of these EVs. And again, Tesla to me looks really, really nice in through here. If we can kind of get and hold above this area, I think Tesla may be on to another leg. And then the way I look at EVs is Tesla is kind of the index, right? So Tesla takes place of the SPY when I'm looking at EVs, and then everything else is kind of a subset of that, right? Because if Tesla's doing well, that means the whole EV market is probably doing well and can get more investment and this and that and the other thing. So it's just a kind of a way that I like to look at them. So looking at the EVs for sure. Going to keep an eye on them. What was the other next one was OCGN. OCGN hasn't, I think I'm in OCGN. Hold on. I have my iPad here so I can check. I don't ever want to check my broker on screen because I don't want, you know, any personal information to leak. Yeah, whatever. OCGN. Yes, I am in at, doesn't have my price here. I'm up 20 cents. So I'm in from somewhere near here. Essentially, this one I'm looking at the short float. We got 22% short. And it's had this bottom, this kind of rising bottom for a long time. We can see bouncing off here, 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 and here. And then if we cut this little spike out of the equation, it's got a bit of resistance in through here. So I'm just going to look to see if this thing can break, maybe make a run at 10. So I am in that one currently. Oh, and last, ME. This one I'm not in yet, but I'm still interested in it. So this is 23andMe. They're a newer IPO. And basically ever since, and this is a play that I talk about often, but ever since they launched, there's been lower highs and lower lows. And this looks like if we can break this area, it may be a potential change in trend. Also an RSI divergence. That's right. So we have an RSI divergence, again, I just like to say quickly, is just kind of sometimes a precursor of a loss of momentum. So you can see that between this low and this low, we've made lower lows, and between here and here, we've made higher lows. So that sometimes indicates a loss of momentum. It's not a trading setup in and of itself, but it's a reason for me to watch and then use technical analysis on top of that. So you can see with these candles, every time we get kind of above $9, a seller comes in. So I want a kind of clear hold above those wicks, and that's, I think, where I'll be interested in getting involved. Monster, not involved yet, but I like this one. I remember the reason behind this was we broke out of this little area right here, and then we pulled back into it, and we've been kind of basing sideways. So I'm basically just playing off this prior resistance could become support. It's going to be a pretty slower trade because really what's Monster Energy going to do that's going to revolutionize the world? It's really not going to be too much. And that's it for this week for the stocks that I was trading. Again, in this part, I'm obviously trading lots of different names all the time. What you guys see on YouTube is like a snippet of what happens in the Stats Edge Pro website and room, right? So of those names, I really just have the one that I'm still holding and just waiting for the rest of them to occur. Oops, sorry about that. Put that back. And there we go. So let's get into the technical analysis. Let's start with here. Bonk. Move that over. I just have Ethereum up here because I actually have a small short in Ethereum. Talked about this to the members. Again, not a signal service. I just talk about what I do and people can learn from that, I hope, and not follow that. And basically, I just highlighted this area here. We can actually go back a little bit further. Let's actually go to the 4-hour chart. So I just have this one up because I'm watching it for just a trade that I'm in. But you can see we have a lot of big area going on here. A lot of resistance every time we come up and touch it. A lot of resistance. We broke down under it. And then we came back up into it. So I took a short kind of in this area right here. Call it 32.50, I would say, is near my average price. Wrong, obviously, above this area. To be honest, I'd probably be wrong over 33.50 or 3,300. So I'm risking $50 a coin. And, oh, I'm in the way here a little bit. And again, just a trade. No, hey, Grant, no crypto weirdos come after me. I trade them. I trade everything. I trade Forex. I trade equities. I trade crypto. I trade commodities via ETFs. I just trade them. You know, my theory is I want to do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trades and let the probabilities end up where they may. So again, Ether is a short just because we're in this kind of resistance area that I drew. And, you know, if I can get some out down here, maybe I'm just going to watch it. If we come down here and bounce, I'll probably take it out. If we are going to have a sell, then, you know, I have a sizable position short. And, right, just so you know, I'm not anti-crypto. I am long. I bought some ADA on this breakout right here. I got out most of the position as we neared these all-time highs, and I still have a little bit. So I guess I am both long and short crypto, with the majority being short. But let's get into the actual analysis. And let's start with the big daddy, Bitcoin USD. I've been highlighting this zone right here on Bitcoin USD for an incredibly long period of time. I'm going to make a note here. I'm telling you, this iPad has probably made me more money than like anything else in my life, because I just had an idea and it's just, I write them down immediately. My theory is you never know what good ideas you've forgotten because you've forgotten them. But so in Bitcoin, I'm basically just watching, again, this prior support right here, broke down through, now we're coming back up to it. Maybe that now acts as resistance and we sell off from here. Again, I don't know, but right, if you want to do a big area, you can see that we have a pretty big zone of resistance in here that we'd have to get through. So I'm kind of watching that as a, get out of here, there. Watching that as an area that I gotta look out for, right? Until I want to see us get up and through 50K pretty quickly before I start really getting bullish again on the crypto space. But I've noticed enough, separation from everything that I'm more confident trading them like stocks, like being long, being short, being in, being out. I'm more confident with that than I was before, where I was just kind of looking for, just do I buy crypto or do I not? Because they all moved in sync. Now, I'm sure during crashes and things like that, which, Bitcoin's going to crash. It's what it does. I'm sure things get a little bit more synced up there, but that's what I'm looking at there. ADA, I already looked at it, but ADA USD has been one of the strongest, other than maybe Solano. And right, that one, we're just struggling with these highs. I mean, is this going to be a double top and we're going to sell? Maybe, but I would be shocked if we don't at least get through that level for a little bit to test before selling off. It looks to me like someone's just selling a whole bunch before $3, just because whole numbers, right? Crypto is no different than anything else. It's got the same type of psychological nature, which is why technical analysis, I believe, works. Doge is interesting to me. Let me delete that. I want to remove this ray. Wow. Remove that. Doge is interesting. Again, I don't think Doge has any value outside of what people think it does, but that's kind of the same with everything, where we're battling, right? Support here, resistance here, broke through it, and now we're battling the low of this area. You guys know I talked about this live on stream. I had some Doge in this area. I sold a bunch out when it popped and it looked like it was going to come back down. I sold the rest out when we broke down under the 8 EMA there. It looks a little bit bearish to me, but if we can get back up over 30 cents, I have a alert set that will alert me, and I'll probably participate back in with a stop right under here is the plan for Doge. So those are the major FX pairs. I talked about Ethereum already. Right, and again, just seeing if this area, this congestion that's going on right here is going to be a short-term top. We can get a little bit of a pullback, but just to trade, just trading them. Don't at me. USD Cad. I got to market strategy, test, and reset. There we go. USD Cad is interesting to me from the FX side. We have a big potential cup here, and then this sideways move, which may just be the most exaggerated handle I've ever seen. But we've had this big strong push up when oil was tanking, and now oil is bouncing a bit, and this is pulled back right to the breakout area. So full disclosure, I am long a little bit of USD Cad, kind of right in this area right here with a stop below that. This market closes, just, like unlike crypto. And then what other? I'm in another one. Oh, GBP. Cable pound USD. So pound USD, and let's go into a 4-hour chart for this. This is the anchored VWAP right here. I can draw it from here as well. You can see the anchored VWAP from these lows is right in this area, and then the anchored VWAP from the highs are right in this area right here. So we had this clean on the 4-hour chart, like 5 candles down in a row into that anchored VWAP area, and then this big green candle right here. So I bought on the close of that candle with a stop down here. So far, so good. What I want to see is a little bit of a pullback and then see what happens when we hit this VWAP area if we break through. Again, trades, not long-term in any of these things, really. So I guess to summarize, crypto is bullish, but everything seems to be running into an area of resistance. So maybe not bullish forever. Maybe we have to rest. Maybe we have to pull back a bit. Again, not going to necessarily take any long-term bets either way, just because of where we are. That's why I zoom in to the 4-hour chart or the 1-hour chart, and then I just trade them long and short. On leverage with stops and targets. I really like trading FX and I really like trading crypto. Crypto is not new for me. I've been trading that for years. FX is fairly new for me, and I just really got into it because of that I like crypto so much. I like being able to come up with the idea, enter it, set out a target, set out a profit or a target and a stop, and then just leave, just walk away. And one of those things will be hit, my watch will vibrate, and then I go back and I look at the markets again. Whereas equity markets are a little bit, you have to babysit them a little bit more. Let's just refresh this, being a bit weird. There we go. All right, turn that off, into the equity markets. So I've been watching the RSP much more. I always feel like I should take a second and do an explanation of why I'm watching this versus the SPY. And it's essentially just that the RSP is an equal weighted index. So it has the same 500 stocks as the SPY, but instead of giving them weights and values based off of how big the company is, how much market cap it contributes to the overall index, what it's doing instead is it's just giving them equally, right? So all 500 stocks have whatever 1/500 is for a ratio, and they rebalance that, I think, quarterly. And it just, right now, especially because we're in this market that's dominated by the giant tech names, I think it gives a better representation of the overall market. And you can see, right, if we take the RSP here and then let's do the SPY, you can see the SPY looks like it's this insane, crazy, unrelenting bullish run. Sorry, I was testing, reset. There we go. Yeah, this insane bullish run. If I go into the RSP, you can see it's much more sideways, which I think, and I think a lot of us think, as shorter term traders, is a better representation of what my trading has looked like, where it's been get a trade, take your money because it's coming back, get a trade, take his money, come back. And again, this is more representation of the overall market. This pop out and then pull back into the range and then a breakout is actually, to me, really bullish. Because if you look at it, this was kind of our ceiling since April, May, June, July. We kept bouncing our head against it. Finally broke out of this end of July, early August, came back to retest. That retest was successful, and then away we go. So I really am getting pretty bullish on what RSP looks like here. So new highs is definitely not bearish. There's obviously a lot of kind of geopolitical uncertainty and news and all of that going on right now. not my job to comment on. I don't make money commenting, looking at it. I just acknowledge that, yes, it exists. Yes, that's something that could cause some volatility in the future. I'm not on 4chan or 8kun or whatever trying to predict the end of the world. But again, just know that that exists. I just follow the trend. I keep my life very simple that way. So trend, obviously up on the markets right now. Anyone who sells otherwise is trying to paint a picture of some sort. So let's go to Koifin, which is one of my favorite places where, let's go market, US sectors, and then I go 5 days. So again, a brief explanation for anyone who's stumbling upon this new. What this is just there is a certain amount of sectors that you can take every stock in the S&P 500, you can put them into. Communications, utilities, consumer staples, so on. And this is just a breakdown on how each of those occurred so that you know, okay, the market's up, but really what does that mean? What is actually up and what is actually down? And I think there's some things that you can glean by looking under the hood when it comes to scanning and what it is that you're trying to look at. So XLE, which is our energy stock, has obviously gotten a great bounce over the last few days. I mean, it's the highest performing sector in the market, 7.5% on XLE this week. XLK, XLC, these are all normal, but what do we see down here? So XLRE is real estate, XLV is healthcare, XLP is consumer staples, right? Yeah, consumer staples. And then XLU is utilities. Now, this is what I use this analysis for. What do those four sectors have in common? And it's safe stuff, right? Flight to safety names, flight to trying to kind of protect yourself. Those are doing poorly. So that means we may be switching on to a little bit more of a risk-on type of environment where people are okay with taking more risks in energy names and things like this. I think the XLE, again, if we want to paint stories and narratives, it's fun. I don't think there's any value at all doing it. Essentially it's, there's problems in the Middle East, oil's going up, right? I don't think it takes rocket science to figure all that out. But the question is, why is it that people are selling these safety names and buying these crazier names, right? And some of it could have been Jerome Powell and all of that stuff as well. But again, just important to know what's going on there. And then I like to go to the Forex Factory. I've gone to this website every day for ages. And it's just a really, I'm sure there's better, but this is just a really succinct, basic way to say what is happening in the world that I have to watch out for. And essentially that's just by coloring all of these different events, right? So pending home sales, you see they put a little orange here. That means on average, this is like a medium tier event when it comes to how it historically moves the market. Pending home sales, I think actually may be a little bit more important right now. I like to look at what the themes in the market are, and then I like to point that to what is actually going on out there. Like there is times that we really care about manufacturing. There's going to be times where we really care about inflation. There's times that we're really going to care about oil. There's times that we're going to care about all these different things depending on what's going on in the market. I think home sales and inflation are kind of the two things that we're going to be watching the most right now. So again, just note that that exists. So then I go back and I like to take a look at some of those sectors that were really outperforming. XLE, I've highlighted a few times for the Stats Edge Pro members, and you can see that it has bounced off this kind of support area that I've noted. I think there's an anchored VWAP embedded in here as well. Let's actually go to trade ideas just because this is being a bit of a weirdo for me. Old test it and true trade ideas. But yeah, I think if we go to this low right here and we draw in our anchored VWAP from here, or is it here? Nope, must be further on. There is a support area right there. That's interesting that this may act as resistance. I'm basically just watching 50 on XLE just to see if we can get through 50, then maybe the downtrend in oil changes. However, if we can't, then, you know, this may continue lower. One thing that's important to note is if we connect these two lows right here, and then we connect these two lows in the RSI, you can see that there was an RSI divergence that triggered that pop. So meaning that basically it took less force to make this move than it did to make this move. Not necessarily indicative that we're going to break through and smash new highs, but it's a warning sign for sure. That's interesting. And then I always like to look at the IWM just because the IWM is more or less the stuff that I like to trade, which is your smaller cap stocks, right? So the fun names, the stuff that has the real potential to move one way or the other, been dramatically outperforming since February, right? We topped out right here in February and then sold off. And then ever since that, it's just been this craziness. This is the first time we've made a new high since June. So I think that might be telling. So that'd be great because most of the names that I like to play and most of the names I like to own are part of the IWM. So that's something that I am going to certainly keep an eye on. Now, technically, this is also an RSI divergence. No, it's not. Never mind. Ignore that. So markets actually looking really bullish. Both the RSP, which is our equal weight S&P 500, and the micro caps are looking bullish. Energy may, if we can get above 50, may actually start to be interesting as well. Just no reason currently to bet against the markets that I can see personally. All right, so what have we done? We've done all the stuff that I traded this week from the YouTube, not including, right, all of the algos I run and you know, everything that I give to the last hour, or the Stats Edge Pro guys. You know, and we went through the markets, crypto, FX, and equity. Just going to announce, again, I am off next week. There's a reason that there's two reasons I picked next week. One, it's the 1 year wedding anniversary for me and Jess. And then the other is it is the second most traveled week in North America, where I think the first is, you know, that Christmas to New Year's. You guys make a big deal out of Thanksgiving. We don't make as big of a deal out of Thanksgiving up here, but right, you've got the last 5 days in August leading into a long weekend. I would not be shocked for an incredibly slow, choppy week. Just letting everybody know that that's just kind of the way it happens. You know, just know it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be that way this year. It's just commonly, from my experience trading, this is a pretty lame week. For the Stats Edge Pro people that watch this, what that means for you guys, I'm still going to be doing the nightly wrap-ups. I'm going to sit down, you know, with a beer once a night and just go through and say, this is what I'm going to trade the next day. I'm going to automate all the orders, set it up, and then take the day off. But our Discord room, I won't be in very much at all. And that's, again, it's fine because all our Discord room is a place for people to hang out anyway. It's not a signal service. So just note that. But the nightly report will still be up I'm still going to update the watch list. I'm just going to maybe place a trade here or there for my phone. It's more that I like the skill of it, if that makes sense. Like, I always like to look at the markets, you know, even for that just few minutes a day, just to kind of keep me in the swing of things. And then after, this is something I wanted to get an opinion of from you guys watching the stream, is when I'm back, I've got this vision for September where you guys, any of you watch Meet Kevin? If not, giant YouTuber, more, you know, not a trader, I would say, just financial content as well. And he just does a lot of little videos throughout the day where he'll just turn on the camera, he'll just talk to it, and he'll say, here's what I'm seeing in the market, here's what's interesting, here's a news event that I thought that was interesting, here's something like that. I've always done my videos, I've always felt that I need to do my videos more structured and more like reasoned, I guess. But I've been watching his stuff and I like it. So I don't know if that's something you guys would like. Just pop on every time I see something in the market that I think's interesting. Just make a 5-minute video about it and pop it up. Don't worry about editing or tagging it or anything like that. Feedback certainly welcome there. I just, you know, the YouTube channel has just been on this slow kind of grind. Same with Stats Edge Pro, this slow grind upward. But I just kind of want to, you know, I figure take this week and recharge and build and just spend September where I may do like 2, 3, 4 videos a day. Just start, you know, hey, I saw this. This was interesting. This is what I did with it. This is a trade that I took. This is a news event that I thought was interesting. Hey, this is how this halt works. Just turn on the camera, whether I'm outside on the hammock or in here in the office, and just go. And I'm just going to try it. So again, if you guys don't like it, just know that if it doesn't work, I'm going to try it for a month. And then if I don't see, again, likes on the videos and stuff like that is really what makes a difference. I'll judge that based off what you guys watch and what's interesting to you, and it may go back. But yeah, me, Kevin, I've seen he's like running for a governor. He's doing all kinds of stuff. Don't think I'm going to be like that, because I bet you he does them and then he sends them off to an editing team and they do all the prettiness and everything like that. But I don't know, every video I put out has always been this structured thing. Like the 1-minute videos that you guys see take about an hour of work, because I have to scan for the thing and I have to do all of these things, and then I tag it. I do like SEO work and all this stuff, and I just don't know if that's the right way to go, or if the better way to go is just me. Hey, this is what I'm looking at. This is a chart that I saw that was interesting. This is what it means to me. Turn off, upload, get you guys the video within minutes of me doing them. So yeah, I'm not watching you it won't be 22 hours a day. That's for damn sure. It'll be maybe 2, 3 videos a day. Again, just going to give it a shot. And then again, it's not like you got to watch all of them, right? You can just pick ones that are interesting, but it's just something I've been floating around I get people who know me will know this. I get bored easily. So I always like to, if you go way back on the channel, it's completely different than it was a couple months ago, and it's completely different than it is today, and it will be completely different than it is tomorrow. I have just a philosophy that if I want it to be bored, I would just work a 9 to 5, and I don't want to be bored. So something I'm going to give a shot to. And again, I read every comment, whether I reply to it or not. I read every single comment. So, you know, if you find a video and you like it, more of this. If you find a video and you don't like it, you know, be nice. I'm a human, but just say, it's not really for me. And we'll go from there. So now is when, yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Videos in the 5-minute range, 5-minute or under range, maybe 2 or 3 of those a day. Yeah, I don't really, I see, so there's a comment, I think, come on live before the open and possibly at the close, maybe. And and I might do maybe one or two of those a week. I really have an aversion to schedules. I really have an aversion of having to do something at a certain time, right? I just very much value the freedom that I have to do things or not do things when and where I want. That's kind of dickish, I know, but we'll figure something out. I'm planning on doing more live stuff. I'm planning on just caring less about the output and just outputting more. And this is actually something I follow CoffeeZilla too. I'm sure everyone's probably heard of CoffeeZilla, but he did the same experiment where he said, I'm going to do a video a day for a couple months. And his videos are obviously way higher quality and much better edited and all this stuff. But I just liked the idea of just take a month and devote it to just putting out tons and tons and tons of content. And I was listening to his podcast, and he said one of the reasons that he did it was he learned more about the creation process in that 1 month than he had in like the last year before that. So, again, I got a week off. I'm gonna charge back up. I'm gonna get everything good to go, and then it's just shotgun it out and see what you guys think. And again, if you hate it, then the next month we'll go right back to how things are. And if the channel grows big enough, then it will get to the point where I'll get an editor. I'll do all those things. It's just neither Stats Edge Pro or the channel is just big enough to warrant that type of thing just yet. All right, so now we're going to go into scanning. I'm going to scan through the market. This is also the time where you guys can talk about or have me look at whatever names that are interesting to you. So if there's anything that kind of you want to take a look at and you want me to check out, that's fine. I'm going to kind of be looking in this more smaller cap space, and I'm going to be really interested in energy names based off what we found, but I'm just going to go through as well. I did a 365 photo challenge. Oh, photographer. Ended halfway through, but it did improve my skills. Yeah, it's like, it's like at the gym. Sometimes you just gotta, push your limits to see where your limit is. And probably what you discovered is the limit goes as well, right? Remember us members as you grow. Yeah, again, well, part of the deal with the Stats Edge Pro stuff is that I'll be doing that stuff until they put me in the ground, right? I love this stuff. I love trading. I love charting. I love all of it. And rates for Stats Edge Pro for existing members never go up. If we start to grow, I may inflate the price there some, but for current members, never increase. And again, I just like teaching. I like the opportunities it's given me where I can. I'm probably going to be on a thing with CNBC soon. I was on Trader TV. I can get you that guy's links if you're interested. I really like them. They've got a great channel, and they had me on just to chat a little bit there. Where am I? And yeah, I just enjoy. Oh, there's my beard. I enjoy talking about trading as much as I enjoy trading. I'll never do alert service stuff because I just don't think that helps. But we can figure that out as well. So the first one here, Abcl. I really like the look of this one. I'm not going to do anything with it because it's already on the Stats Edge Pro list. And I think I have it as well. But it does look good. Basically just looking at the big rounded bottom that happened there. And you can also see the Rsi Divergence going on here, whereas this is flat and that's uptrending. So this one, I think it just has to close above this area, and then we may be able to get a little run. Maybe test down here where that was the breakdown area, but we'll figure that out if and when we get there. the videos this week, I want your feedbacks on as well. I'm going to be gone, but they're all... Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I like HT. I'm going to add that in. They're, as I talked about, there are things that have live streams and stuff that I did. I cut interesting bits, what I thought were interesting bits out of. And there's going to be 4 this week, so I'm going to judge, the like ratio and all that on those based off other ones. AHT, another RSI divergence. Oh, bad luck with AHT. We all have those stocks. I'm actually in one of them. I'll talk about it after this. But yeah, so RSI divergence, selling off, right? So making lower lows on price and then higher lows in the RSI. And then we put in this kind of clean resistance right here. So just to see if we can pop through that. Yeah, I'm in, no, Posh. So I think I've taken like 3 trades on Posh. I think I tried Posh in here and got wicked out and then it gapped down. And then I think I tried Posh again on this breakout and, took a tiny loss on that. I just like, 24% short float. And again, I'm just in this one a little bit preemptively, but look at the last 4 candles here, right? Every time we dip under, what is this, 28 intraday, someone comes and buys it back up. And then we dip under, and this is actually going to be one of the videos that comes out this week where I talk about this concept. So it just tells me that there's somebody accumulating down there. So I bought some Posh just in case we get a lift and these shorts start to say, okay, well, all right, if you're a short right now in Posh, you're loving life. But if it starts to get a move higher, you may say, okay, it's time to take my profits. You could be short from $100 and it's at 30. So again, just might be one of those times to take some profit. But yeah, AHT I like. Again, I'm really liking, I'm studying and I'm playing more of these RSI divergence. I'm really trying to find a way to quantify them. It's so subjective. It doesn't, I've tried pretty much every combination and permutation of see an RSI, buy it when it breaks a moving average, or buy it when it breaks a multi-period high, or like a 5-day high or something, or buy it when the MACD crosses, or buy it when a moving average. Like I've tried tons of combinations of first see the RSI, then do X, and they all suck. But when I do it myself, my own personal trading by eye and by discretion, they are working much better. So great. These have been some of my best trades in a long time. Best in the sense that my entry's the best, not the biggest, because, I've been trading those with other things. It's a new strategy, so I start small. But I know there's power here. I just haven't been able to quantify it. And it may be the case that it's just not possible, right? There are some scans that are great scans, but then they need that human eye and discretion on, and this just might be one of those things, which I'm fine with, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But, and here's another one, right? Higher highs in the RSI, lower highs on price. Other than just drawing a downtrend line and buying a break of that downtrend line, I don't know how else you do it, right? But it's an interesting thing. I'm working on something that hopefully for you Trade Ideas subs will come out soon. That will be a scan to show you RSI divergences on the daily and intraday. We need some tech bump for that, and again, it won't be perfect because these are highly discretionary type of plays. Here's another one. So let's just add that one there too. Okay, and again, just look at this low and this low. Oh, yeah, well, equal. So it's important to note that the RSI is on closes. So technically, zoom in a bit, right? We have this close and then that close, and then we have the RSI moving up. So this one above 10, if we can break and hold above 10, right? The other thing I'm doing for people who aren't in the Stats Edge Pro is I'm doing all of my swing trading entry and exits on the close now. And man, it has cranked up my win rate. I miss a lot, right? Like that bolt, I missed that bolt because by the time it closed, it was already up, 10 or 15% on the day. And some people in the in the group got it and did much better, I think. But I missed it. But what I'm losing in missing them, I'm gaining in the fact that I'm not getting wicked out nearly as much. And it makes sense. Even Charles Dow, way back in the day, if you don't know, Charles Dow is kind of one of the creators of what they call Western technical analysis, Dow theory, right? Dow theory is huge. It's still followed by some of the smartest people in the world to this day. He invented it, and basically he always said the closing price is the most important price. And I am starting to agree pretty wholeheartedly. I just keep looking up at actually, I just want to put my ether position up here. Because again, this is a trade, so it's fairly decently sized. There we go. It's fairly decently sized. I have a stop and I have a target in place, so I don't need to watch it, but I'm a trader and I'm sitting in front of a screen, so therefore I'm curious. Edit's interesting if it can hold above, but look at all the topping tails here, right? Every time it gets going, someone steps in. But yeah, this entering stuff on the close, I call it the last hour trader. I've been really, really interested in. I've been building algorithms specifically designed to enter on or near the close. And that's something I'm sharing with the guys. Won't be next week because I'll be out, but some great results. What was it? PXLW. I missed a bit on, and it was still PXLW. It was still a monster. We bought PXLW right there at 3. And right, I sold a bit here, and then I sold a bit here, and then I got out the rest here, and then it's still been rocketing. So I almost got a double on it, and my trade wasn't even nearly the best. And again, it's just waiting for that. What is the closing print going to look like? Gambling.com. Yikers. So again, if anyone has any, I've already got a handful of stocks. I limit the amount of names that I'm interested in. What do I have? HT, BLDX. Is that it? I only picked 2. Yeah, it must have been. Okay. I usually only, I only want to watch like up to 10, 15 stocks at the end of the day. I am very much, and anyone in the service that I rant at every day will tell you, I'm very much a keep it simple. It's not fancy. It's not, you don't have to do anything crazy. Just find a couple simple trading styles that work over the long run. Know that you're going to be wrong on roughly half of all your trades for the rest of your life, and just manage. Gray. Oh, that one popped, eh? It's interesting. It's beaten up. Whoa, geez. Yeah, you zoom up, it's real beaten up. So from 40 down to 4. It's interesting. Now it's up from 350 to call it 450 in a couple days. So I don't know if I'd be able to buy it up here, but that is an incredibly strong candle. Opened pretty much near its low and closed pretty much near its high. So definitely strong. I don't know if that's a news thing that happened, but a lot of these pharmas seem to be popping up. Orthopedic. Interesting. But yeah, it looks good. 18% short float. So if it gets going, it gets going. But that's a little bit too much of a move in that shorter period of time for me. I'm more of a want to buy the dip or the breakout and then not really chase anything that's up more than a few days in a row myself. But yeah, with an 18% short float and a small cap like that, things could get crazy if they get crazy. Hell, just look at SPRT if you want to see what a high short float thing can do. Speaking of, man, be careful with that thing when I'm away next week. Like $60 to $25 range. I wouldn't be shocked to see this open down here. That's a wild beast. That's the kind of stuff that I avoid like the plague. Give me my little bit of the trend. Let me do it over and over and over again. Forget the rest. Jeez. Big short float. PGen. POW is interesting. You know, you want to talk about theme or market, right? There may be wars going on. That being said, oh no, I got out of SWBI. I was about to say I'm in SWBI, but I got out because earnings is soon. Does POW have earnings soon? No. This POW might be interesting. For you TI Pro members, before I popped on here, I made sure that the TI strength alerts was updated, and that is. So that's something to keep an eye on if you like those strength alerts, which have been performing pretty well recently. Those are all updated with next week's symbols for anyone who's just a TI Strength Alerts member, which again, if you're not, it's $17 a month. Link is in the description. Click on my little link tree there, and that will take you to trade ideas. Check that out. But it's basically 5 algorithmically chosen symbols that have been proven to beat the market over the last 5 years. I did a lot of back testing on that one. The ones this week I think look really, really nice. Oh, awesome. Well, so welcome. Just FYI, when you see me a little light in the Discord next week, just know that I am on a little bit of vacation next week. And if you want, just let me know, and I'll see if I can bump you out a bit. But the nighttime analysis, all that will be up. I also added, depending on when you join, I also added the archives for the member webinar, because last week we actually had our member webinar. So you may have just missed that. So I would go check that out. I think it was actually a really good one. It's 2 hours, so grab your popcorn. I kind of like ZI here. I'm going to add this one. So you can check those out. I actually added all of the old member webinars to it. So you can see there's only been 3. So we've only been open 3 months so far. But it's gonna be good. We got some really good guys in there too, just in the Discord room. So when you get a chance, if you're interested in joining the Discord room, again, you don't have to. I know there's a lot of people. We have a lot of members who just want my nightly analysis and want the watch list. That's fine, but when you're in the Discord room, just DM me your email address, and then I'll get you added up into the trading room from kind of that little waiting area. Get you all sorted out there. What else are we going to look at? Let's look at this A-Table 2.0, which is kind of being one of my favorites, which is looking for high short float names that are strong both technically and fundamentally. BGFV is super interesting. That's a good looking one. Oh, for sure, Jarrett. Again, no rush. It's the nightly stuff will still be updated. Oh, I like this CARV. The nightly stuff will still be updated every single night, so you'll get analysis on all the different markets. I may have a few beers into me when I do it, but that will be the only different. The CARV is interesting. I wonder what caused this pop back here. 27% short float on a savings institution is a holding company which engages in the provision of consumer commercial banking service. It offers deposit products including demand savings, other time deposit, and what? Anyone know what the hell happened to a savings institution right there? Is it just Wall Street Bets thing? Did they just all hop on board that when all the other short ones were getting hammed? Because, yeah, I'm going to add that one as the last one. That might be the video this week, too. I remember I was looking at this when I was doing one of the TI webinars. Wall Street Bets, yeah. That's what when I saw the 28% short float, I thought that was interesting. I wonder if that's still a valid short float. Oh, no, they don't. We all know that Wall Street Bets doesn't care about the company. Look at AMC and GME, right? I like the game. I'm a nerd. I hate GameStop. Even when there was no alternative, like you couldn't just download the games, I still didn't like them. They would just like push these stupid warranties on you and stuff. It was an annoying place to go. And now it's like $1 billion company or something crazy. That makes sense. Short interest. So that's interesting. Shortsqueeze.com doesn't have a short float, but they show a 28% increase in shorts. Every gamer I know says, oh, it's an annoying place to go. It's like, hey, I just want to buy this game. I want to, I played a lot in college. I played a lot. I think I'm going to avoid it just because it is a short float. Or a Wall Street Bets. But yeah, I used to play a lot of StarCraft, like competitively. Yeah, and you'd go in and be like, I have this, I want to buy this. And it was like a 5 to 10 minute, do you want to buy this? Do you want a warranty on this? Do you want this? Do you want that? I'm like, no, this. Like, imagine you go to the grocery store and you like put down a carton of eggs and you have to have a full-on negotiation with the guy about, do you want this on top of your eggs? And you want this on top of your eggs? No. I'm going to drink some beers with the bud and we're going to play Call of Duty. Can you just take my money in exchange for this game and I can leave? That would be fantastic. And yeah, now they're $1 billion company. And I don't even know, we don't have AMCs in Canada, I don't think. We don't have AMCs in Nova Scotia. So I don't even know what that's good. But from what I've heard from my American buds, it's not the greatest place to hang out. I'm just going to go through this scan here as well. And again, this is just looking for Trade Ideas has this score ranking system that I helped build with Andy. I think it's a really good idea. It's kind of the premise too between the TI strength alerts, where it basically looks at things like, how much money does the company make, how much debt does it have, all the fundamental stuff, and then all of the technical stuff on top of it, and then it assigns it a rank. So the higher ranked it is, the stronger both technically and fundamentally it is. And the beauty of that is because it's doing it to every stock on the market, you can take a look at and you can say these are the quote unquote strongest stocks in the market. So if I sort this by this, so the strongest stock in the market with my criteria, I don't want it up a bunch or anything like that, is this Datadog. And when you go through these, you'll notice that all of these are in a pretty dramatic uptrend. AMC is nice, but it's a dying industry. It is. I think there'll be some movie theaters as like an experience, but it's going to be a tightening. We don't need as many as we have. Right? Like, I think going to the theater is just going to be more of a rarer, more exclusive type of thing. And again, I do not want the ire of Wall Street bets. Back in the original GameStop, I actually did very, very well. I'll talk about, Tesla looks good. Yeah, I bought some GameStop after wave one. I bought some right here. And then I sold some here, which makes me look like an idiot at the end. And then I sold some somewhere in through this base here. And then I held through here. And then I think I sold the rest kind of in this area. So I was in at like 50 and out 100 to 200. So I was with them, right? I love the concept. I think it's over for them. Right, the short float they're easy to borrow now. The short float's down. I think the story is dried up for them, but I liked the concept of let's all rally and just beat these people that are beating companies into the ground. And it was a moment for sure. I don't know what happened recently, but to me, okay, let's end with some conspiracy talk. And again, I'm not a conspiracy guy. I'm not a QAnon, anti-vaxxer, flat earther, all that stuff. But I think that there are hedge funds now that are programmed, and I know a trader personally who basically has a basket of meme stocks, and he has a button on his desk, and he can hit that one button, and it buys like 50 of the different top shorted meme stock ones. And then I think what happened with this last one that happened a few days ago, some hedge fund, some institution, something pushed the price of an AMC or a GME a little above. You can see they both have their bases here. That caused momentum traders to pop on. And then I think what that's causing now is these algorithms that are basically, the algorithms are looking at these meme stocks as like a basket. And they're saying, okay, the Wall Street guys are at it again. Let's hit it. And they all hit these same groups, right? So think GME, AMC, BlackBerry, right? Wish. That didn't do anything. Bed Bath and Beyond. Right. I think there's just I no longer think that Wall Street Bets is getting one up on these hedge funds anymore. I think it's the other way around. I think what's happening is that there's algorithms that are now scanning and looking for all of these institutions or all of these forum posts and Twitter posts and all of these things, and they're treating all of these meme stocks as a basket. And if they see like a spike in mentions or they see a spike in volume in any one of these particular names, they're just plowing into all of them. And again, they're doing it algorithmically, right? So they've got a system that says at the same time send out orders for all of these names. That's pushing, right? Even Bed Bath and Beyond, I think it was kind of right here when it happened, and that's still a pretty good pump. And they're just going after all of these names and saying, hey, hit them all at once. And then by pushing them up, what they're then doing is they're igniting the crowd, and they're getting these guys all riled up. They're getting them all ready to fight and all ready to go after the man again. And that causes a surge of retail buying that has happened after the institutional buying. And then I bet you the institution's just, right, selling to her as it goes, right? And it's an interesting concept now where it's kind of the way the market should work. We're just full on rant mode now, but it's kind of the way the market should work, where there was an opportunity for a little bit there. There was a game, and this was from someone who, these type of games, when I was trading prop 15 years ago, before it was all algorithmic and quantitative and all this kind of stuff, I used to play a lot of these games. So what we would do is we would look for a little bit of inconsistencies, and we would then take the trade. So the question, why not short them instead? Well, because they know that these guys, a lot of these people are not selling. They're just going to buy. So what they're doing is they're trying to, if we want to go real tinfoil hat, I think they're pushing it up through large buy orders, knowing that what's happening is that all of these Reddit guys and all of these YouTubers and everyone, you know, like we all know the YouTuber, the one that's like in their thumbnail and going AMC to the moon, AMC to hit 500,000 tomorrow and stuff like this. They'll start doing stuff like that if they can just make AMC pop a bit. And then as they're doing that, as the YouTubers are making the buy AMC and let's all buy Lambos and blah, 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 and all of the people who fall for conspiracy theories are getting in, and all of these people that are, just the retail guys that are buying things, you got to understand these aren't professional traders that are waiting for pullbacks or carefully buying base breaks. They're seeing that AMC is popping and they're just putting in a market order for a bunch of shares. So if they can cause this spike and then sell to them as they go up, then that's great. They basically cause legally, it's perfectly legal just to buy a bunch of stock, push the price of these up, cause a whole bunch of people to get in behind them, and then they're just flipping out their stock on the way up. And then that's just the stock side, where like Citadel has made so much money from these meme stocks. I think it is insane because, you know, they're selling out of the money calls and puts. It's people try to look for large blocks of options and think it's the smart money that buys the options. I can say it is not the smart money that buys insane groups of options. It is the smart money that sells them those out of the money options. Right? People buying out of the money options are looking for lotto tickets. Generally, people selling out of the money options are just raking in premium. And that's what I think is going on right now is Citadel's probably hooked on the money because every time GameStop pops, they can sell some like $500 calls or $300 calls or all of these things to them. They'll go, yeah, I'll take your money because I've bought the stock, right? And now I can sell you guys the calls. And then as we're spiking, I can sell you back the stock, which will then eventually push the price or at least make it go sideways for a while. That reduces the premium. Citadel rakes in a bunch of money. Everyone goes, we're getting them. Don't you worry. And it's, again, I very much hope for them, right? I very much love the little guy standing up to the big guy and winning. I love the story. I think it's great. I wish them all the best. If I wake up tomorrow and GameStop's at 100,000, I'll be sad that I missed out, but I'll just be happy that they pulled it off. But I think what's happening is the other way around. Now the hedge funds are playing, they found a game. The hedge funds found that they can play Reddit like a fiddle, right? It's the same. I don't like signal services. I don't run a signal service. I don't ever want to run a signal service. I'll never tell you what to buy or sell. And part of it is because people who shall not be named who run signal services, when you get large enough, basically what you're doing is you're saying, I bought XYZ. All of your followers come in later, they buy XYZ, XYZ pops, you sell to them, you say, look, I turned $1,000 into $1 million, without saying, on the backs of my followers who are now bag holding all of the things that I told them to buy. And I think the hedge funds are playing that exact same games with the Reddit crowd, and people are going to end up getting hurt. And it just sucks because for a lot of them, that's going to be their first exposure to the market. And they're going to say, you know, the game is rigged. And in my opinion, that's not the game being rigged. That's the game being played. I'm not going to hate the hedge funds for it. I'm not going to hate the Wall Street Bets guys trying. I just think that this is an arena. And if you choose to come into the arena and fight, you got to know that everybody is always trying to figure out a way up on everyone else. And in the beginning, when they spiked GME out of the blue, I bet you they hurt a bunch of people a lot. But then very quickly, the hedge funds would have been picking up and saying, hey, anyone have a cousin or a son or a daughter who's big on Reddit and does Reddit things? Get them in here, pay them a bunch of money, have them explain to me how this works. I'm going to then play the game. And, you know, it's the nature of it. This is why I want a YouTube editor, because I could say, hey, cut that out, upload it, make a video out of it, you know, do some thumbnail, do some craziness, you know, make me big on the internet. But I am going to finish the Stats Edge Pro stuff for them, and then I'm going out to the fire. So this will just be the very last bit of a very long stream that no one will end up seeing. But I thought it was a pretty good rant. So thank you all for coming out. Again, I will be away next week, ish. Still post on Twitter from time to time. I'm going to make some trades, some swing trades in the afternoon. I'll pop into the Discord every now and then and make sure everyone's behaving and all of that. If you're interested in any of the products that you see me use to scan or Stats Edge Pro or anything, check out my link tree in the description below. It's a really cool, if you guys don't know what Linktree is, it's a really cool little app. You click on that link and it has like all of my socials, my Twitter, and I have a TikTok. I'm almost embarrassed to say. All of those things are in there. Check those out. And again, thank you everybody for coming by, and I'll talk to you soon.